week's episode of What If the World Blew Up, we will be doing, normal What If the World Blew Up things. I'm pretty sure you guys are going to see this on not April, 9th of May, which is insane. I'm recording this on the 1st of April. Happy April Fool's Day, everyone. I just need to address something here. I messed up. I forgot to save the map. I had to redo it. Which I am not happy about. So this video might be shorter than the last ones, and I'm sorry about that, because that's because I had to try to redraw the borders. I did the best I could. If they're probably not perfect, because I can already see a few differences, but well, that's just my problem. So I'm very sorry for that. It's because I'm pretty sure here they took a bit more. Here, these guys took probably more, I think it's not, I don't think it's a big enough, it's not a big enough deal for me to, completely start over the series or something like that, but, I don't think this is the exact border here. Luckily for me, the last episode was full of mostly annexations after wars. So that made it a bit easier for me, but I'm still very sorry about that. Anyways, back to the video. This big blob thing. As they attack, they spearhead towards the capital and encircling it and putting the capital under siege. The capital is going to be sieged for another 2.5 years. What the hell? The city is going to be sieged for the next 2.5 years with massive assaults and not a lot of good things. Half of the yellow team's troops are stuck in the capital, and their territories are cut off, like this one. The rest of the country will quickly fall, and then the capital will fall, and then it will be annexed into the blue team. This country is getting chunky. This seems to be a big Russia. It appears that it's going to end up being. Spoiler alert. Nobody really likes this country. Everyone just doesn't like it. So everyone is going to form an alliance, a defensive alliance against them. Maybe you should have thought about that before you invaded everyone. So the Egypt country, which is a huge deal because they're probably just as strong as these guys, and the Iran country will form a defensive alliance. Two countries you'd never thought would do anything, would never interact. These two countries they overestimate the power of the Ottomans, because they saw how easily they took, stuff. So they're gonna and it's gonna be even more justified when they invade this country but doesn't have a capital for some reason. So they will invade and cut the country in half, and then with the most of the population being here, it's really bad when it falls, and the day after this territory falls, the country surrenders, and it's annexed into the empire. So this country, after being humiliated against a neutral country, will just go and sulk, I guess. And everyone's just kind of pointing and laughing at it, because it's pathetic. Why'd you just, this leader is very incompetent. Massive downgrade from that good leader they had at the beginning of the series. Massive downgrade. Italy is just also kind of, Italy's not as sad, because they got, the monarchy back. They got monarchy. But, look, they remember how strong they used to be when they were big, and it's physically impossible for them to do it because these guys are in the Square Alliance. So then they would just get pummeled. yeah, I'm gonna try and retake my old land. Don't say that in 2025 because of the whole Ukraine thing. That's not something that you should be saying. But still, yeah, I'm gonna retake my old land. Proceeds to be pummeled into a million pieces. Like, and the red team this red country is slowly being integrated into the orange team. They're slowly getting closer to annexation, which is not a good thing. Well, for the red team. And there's going to be a mini Cold War, but not really, between these two countries. Because these two countries are, similar in strength. I'd say Egypt is probably a bit stronger because of, the Nile. And, well, not a bit stronger, well, yeah, a bit stronger. But they are neither of them like each other, but they have buffer states, so they're fine. So what they'll do is they will start a proxy war. Of course they're gonna start a proxy war, duh. This Egypt country will send troops into this country, but this country will also send troops into this country. Now we have a full-blown civil war. The original government of this country has been fucked, and they will now not exist anymore because they are the result of a proxy war. This is kind of the first proxy war we've ever seen. But the Egyptians will make the first move, and the capital is split. Reminds me of Berlin. And they will encircle the capital, trying to starve it out. But no, they can't starve it out because their encirclement has been broken. And now they're being encircled. Their encirclement was being encircled. It's weird, I know. They will now start pushing. But no, they're stopped because the Egyptians are too powerful. And they will now plummet and take the capital because the Egyptians are too powerful. But then the Algerian country will start sending more manpower because they need to win this war. Otherwise, there's going to be an Egyptian threat on their border. Look, here, imagine that was all the way across this as well. That would be a nightmare. They will start sending in their own troops into the nation. So they will start kind of pushing in from the north. And these guys are like, whoa, stop that now. And these guys will say, no. And the Egyptians will say, if you don't leave, if you don't get your own, if you don't stop invading them, we're going to invade you. Which that kind of gets their attention, and they'll leave. Okay. And they have left, so now it's just for the proxy fighting. The Egyptians will slowly make ground, but as these troops from the north get relocated down, they get stomped in the Libyan Southern Offensive, as I'm calling it, the Great South Libyan Offensive, something like that. As they will make a massive push to get the south of the country, and they will get tons of land from it. But it's not all good for them because they have to lose more land to make up for it. They lose land up in the north, and they are almost cut off, and then they are cut off, and these guys are like, oh fuck. And then they are just kind of clicking the panic button. I need one of those. I need a panic button. I need one of those. And this country will quickly, with the aid of the Egyptians, block off their southern push because they can't they can't get aid. You can't go through nothing to get aid. Like, and anyways, these guys will block off the aid. Like, they send troops out here and just kind of block it off. And anyways, it's really hard to get aid through a fucking desert. Oops, that's what. It's kind of hard to get troops through a desert. Imagine sending tens of thousands of troops through the Sahara Desert. Not good. You're not having a good time. As this country has been completely annihilated. The Egyptian country will win the proxy war, and this will only increase tensions between the two countries. I don't know why I paused there. Now we have the Finnish-Norwegian War. These like Finnish soldiers will cross the border at rapid rates, overestimating their military capabilities. They think that this is going to be over in like a week. Yet did they realise there was mountains? The Finnish push. They begin to push from the north and south of the nation, but they managed to cut this off and take the area. And they will manage to link up here and take the area. It's not looking good for Norway. That's just because they're surprised. Now they will start getting their troops ready. They begin getting their troops, ready. But they are still making staggering gains. They managed to take massive swords of land in the first coming weeks. This is what they take in a month. Like, it's a lot of territory. And who loves territory? Sweden, of course. Sweden will join the war on the side of Finland and will start pushing towards Norway's capital because they see an opening as all of their troops are being pushed up north. They are caught off guard by this. You guys really need to stop being caught off guard. Just be on guard, I guess. As their capital will be captured by a massive push of tons and tons of Swedish soldiers. Sweden has taken the capital of Norway. But when they hear about this, the Norwegian government, these troops that were going up north have now been told to go this way to hopefully force the Swedish troops to retreat as they start to push from the north of the country. They try to bleed supply lines. Well, we're dumb because they're not actually fighting up here. They just kind of set a defensive line here, which they will now hit. They hit the defensive line, and they are stunned. The Norwegian offensive has been halted. The Norwegians are done. The Norwegian troops are losing morale as they lose their capitals and all of their valuable land. And as the dead rack up in massive numbers, these guys have 5 times as many deaths as these two, 5 times as many. They will not surrender because the government doesn't let them. But the troops themselves will start surrendering in droves, and the Norwegian government is wondering why they're losing so much territory. As Finland starts invading, Sweden takes back their land, and they will start a northern offensive into the Norway country. The Norway country seems to be fucked as they make a massive cut off and they take the area. And here's when the Norwegian people will stage a coup, and then the new government will surrender to these countries. Alright, let's look at that peace treaty. The country has lost tons of land, and the Finland country decided to be really, really mean, and they gave the Norwegian country exclaves. Do you know why that's mean? Because people are gonna starve. Finland is evil. Yes, they are very much evil. No, like actually, they're evil. But Sweden has taken like all of Norway's valuable land, like all of it. They've become a regional power. Well, if you ignore that Finland exists, because Finland's probably stronger than them. They are a regional power. Probably stronger than Poland at this point. Well, maybe. That's up for debate. I would debate that Poland might be stronger than them, but they're really similar. Maybe we'll see a war between those two countries in the next episode. Just saying. As this Romania country will join the Star Alliance. These guys are no longer communist because they kind of just like civil war, I think, was it? I don't really remember, but they're just not communist. And this neutral country will start building defences on all of their borders. They're not even including the countries that helped them, like the Star Alliance. Like, they just don't know. They just can't trust anyone after all they went through. They'll start building up massive defences. This will probably take up until episodes 15 to 16 to be done. But then, when they are done, they are going to be an impenetrable fortress. And they are going to do nothing for the rest of the series, probably, until they get nuked in like episode 1 million. Alliance is going to form a square economic group, a square economic alliance. I don't know why there's so many squares in this series. And surprisingly enough, this square alliance. Why is there two squares? Like, every country's going to be squarified. I know I said this country's neutral. That's like war neutral. They're not against joining an economic alliance, but they would leave if they were like. They said that they would leave if it like offended another country, or if they they wouldn't. Like they said, they would leave. It's really like they would just leave if somebody asked them to be honest, they'd leave if somebody asked them to leave. Like they just don't want to offend people. They just want to become a rich country. Okay, all they want is peace and richness. Yeah, so they are rich. They are probably the richest country in Eastern Europe, aside from Poland, because they haven't really been beaten by war if you exclude like this half of the country. Like, and whose fault was that? Ukraine. But in the next few episodes they will become insanely rich, like Switzerland kind of rich, and it kind of helps that they're bigger so they can produce more. This country's population is probably something like 5 million, 10 million. I don't really know. It's something like that. I'm putting a lot of focus onto them because they're going to be like the big neutral country of this series. In the blob of Central / Eastern Europe, I don't want people to be mad at me. Well, not clients, but just they are aligned with these guys. They will join the Pentagon. Is that what this thing is? Yeah, it's a Pentagon. The Pentagon Alliance. They will join the Pentagon Alliance. Even though we're not really threatened by the Ottomans, they just kind of do what they're told by Egypt. So, and as this country joins this alliance, the Ottoman Empire is declaring war on them because that was their next plan. Because they are basically trying to conquer Arabia at this point. And then they just go nuclear or something. Okay, that is a different colour. Phew. They will now invade into this country and they will launch a massive, humongous attack. So, as the Pentagon Alliance gears up for a war, Egypt will call the war. The Pentagon Alliance declares war on the Ottoman/Byzantine Empire. Their goal is to bring down this empire and free countries with probably different borders, because I don't remember them. Because I don't remember the original borders, because I'm not a remember person. I'm a forget person. If you remember, I'm pretty sure Egypt bought this land from these guys, from the Ottomans. But that was when they got, I think they bought this from the country that then got invaded by the Ottomans. I don't even remember. I don't remember, actually. Remind me if they bought this from the Ottomans. I don't actually remember. But anyways, the Ottomans are now charging in to the territory. The Ottomans will now start pushing into Egyptian territory as they are halted at the thinnest point of the Sinai Peninsula. In Iran, it's a different story. Iran will start pushing in across their massive front lines. Iran is probably just as strong, if not stronger, than Egypt, but they weren't prepared for a war with these guys. They were already afraid of the Egyptians, but they didn't expect these guys to go to war with them. The Iranians will begin to push in to the eastern parts of the Ottoman Empire. They will begin to be invaded. These guys will quickly. They manage to push a little bit further into Egyptian territory before the force of Egypt arrives. But this red country has fallen, as they now turn their attention to Iran. I'll see you in the next episode.